हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नामस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 रामा राम रामा हरे 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 कृष्णा. Okay, welcome everyone who's joined just now as well. Right, so we had discussed the 10th chapter in the last week's sessions. Today we are going to see a very important, it's considered to be the most auspicious chapter in the Bhagavad Gita, where the Lord reveals his universal form, the Vishwarupa, okay, the Vishwarupa darshan. So we're all fortunate to, be here for this chapter. So I'm going to share my screen just now. Yep. All right. Just give me a moment. Radha. I don't know why this is being shared. Yeah. Right. Are my slides visible to you on the screen? Can you please confirm in the chat box? So you should be able to see the Vishwarup Darshan slide. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Prashant and Kumarji. Yeah. So this 11th chapter is, like I said, the universal form of the Lord. So the type of, the type of idols that we have seen, the type of figures and drawings that we have seen of God are very different from what the universal form looks like. Okay. So let's see how we feel about the universal form, and let's see how our experience of, understanding the universal form of the Lord will be. So quickly to recap what we have learned in the 10th chapter. So the 10th chapter was called Vibhuti Yoga, or the opulence of the absolute, right? And the acronym for that chapter was HEAR, right? We saw why hearing was important, right? The more we hear, the more we become fixed in our faith. The 3 O's in Bhakti Yoga: only expectation, only qualification, right? And then accepting Krishna, and, practicing bhakti. And finally, the revelation, and the revelation now continues in the 11th chapter. So the acronym for this 11th chapter, the universal form, is Rupa, form, right? So form in Sanskrit, if you have to get the word for form in Sanskrit, it's called Rupa, okay, the appearance of the form. So this is the acronym for this chapter. Okay. R stands for request. We'll see Arjuna request the Lord to reveal his universal form. So the first 4 shlokas consist of Arjuna's request. And then from the 5th to 34th shloka, there's a description of the universal form. Okay. Then there are prayers by Arjuna. After Arjuna sees the universal form, he offers prayers to Lord Krishna. And those prayers we will see from 35th to 45th verse. Okay. And then we have the armed form, which is the last 9 verses of this chapter. Okay. So before we proceed to the Arjuna's request, I want to quickly ask you guys. Now, who all do you think has been able to see the universal form of the Lord? Who all have seen the universal form of the Lord? Can you quickly give your response in the chat box? And remember, go back to the first chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Remember who is describing what to whom. Huh? So if you can quickly tell me in the chat box, sorry, who all could see the universal form of this Lord? One very obvious answer you should very easily know. Right? Okay, I have a few responses in the chat box. Oh, excellent. Excellent, Prashant and Ashwat Kumarji. Yes. Sanjaya and Arjuna both were able to see the Lord's universal form because Sanjaya was seeing this with his telescopic and transcendental vision. He was able to see this happening like telepathy. So he could see the universal form as well as Arjuna. Okay, great. Let's proceed and see what is the kind of request that Arjuna made. Okay. And I would like you all to read, if possible, the translation. So please put your hands digitally up. You can raise your hand so that I can give you an opportunity to read. I'll read the shloka or the verse. Evametadyathātthvam atmanam parameshvara drashtumichhami te rupam aishwaram purushottama. Okay. So Arjuna is requesting to see the universal form. So what does Arjuna mean by the universal form? Could somebody please read this translation? Anyone who's in a position to read the translation? Yes, Prashant, go ahead.
Am I audible?
Yes.
O greatest of all personalities, O supreme form, though I see you here before me in your actual position, as you have described yourself, I wish to see how you have entered into this cosmic manifestation. I want to see that form of yours.
Thank you. Thank you, Prashant. So, O greatest of all personalities, O supreme form, though I see you here before me in your actual position. So what does Arjuna mean by actual position? So Arjuna knows of Lord Krishna in his two-handed form with that flute, okay? And the side-eye glance. So, I mean, Arjuna has seen Lord Krishna like that, like a friend. So he's saying that though I see you here before me in your actual position in the two-handed form, as you have described yourself, I wish to see you. I wish to see how you have entered into this cosmic manifestation. In the previous chapters, Lord Krishna said that I have created this whole, this whole creation is through me. I am the seed-giving father. Aham bija pradapita. So when Lord has said this, Arjuna asks, you have described all this. I wish to see how you have entered into this cosmic manifestation. So Lord had said that I have created this. I am also present in this creation. So how have you entered? I want to see that form which enters this creation. That's what Arjuna has asked. So what's Arjuna's state of mind when this form is revealed to him? So the first thing, illusion. What was Arjuna's illusions? Illusion is over, is what's written on the slide. What kind of illusion? Arjuna's illusion was broken when he saw this universal form of the Lord. It's not a very difficult question. The answer is quite simple. Anyone wants to respond in the chat box or by unmuting? Yes. What was Arjuna's illusion? Apparently, although Arjuna was very knowledgeable and he was a great warrior and he was Krishna's friend, till he saw the universal form, he was assuming that Lord Krishna is, he's like a friend and he's in the two-handed form only. He was not aware of this universal form. So his illusion that Krishna is just a friend and, he's always in his two-handed form, that kind of illusion was broken when Lord revealed his universal form to him. Okay. When he saw that universal form, we'll see a description of that universal form. Okay. thousands of heads, thousands of mouths, thousands of eyes. It was like a scary, bewildering form actually for Arjuna. So we'll see what Arjuna says next. We'll see this description also. So when he saw this form of the Lord extending in all directions, unmeasurable, he accepted that this cannot be anybody ordinary. This cannot be even somebody who is having special qualities. This is beyond imagination, this is beyond description, right? So he accepted the Lord as the Supreme. His illusion was broken. He became completely satisfied of the fact that Lord Krishna is not just his friend, but he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the way he requested this was in a humble way. Also, after seeing the universal form, he makes another request, okay, because this is quite a scary form for Arjuna to look at or even digest. So in this particular slide, there's a beautiful line that's written, right? Krishna, nobody can bind Krishna. Nobody can bind Krishna. So even in the Damodar Leela, you would have heard about the story where Krishna's mother, Yashoda, was trying to tie him up. Was trying to tie him up to this grinding mortar. And the rope, every time she tried to tie him, the rope used to fall short. Okay, although she had taken a long rope and Krishna was a little boy, she could still not tie him. Always the rope used to fall short. Okay, then she was really worried that what's happening, and she said, "Oh Krishna, I really have to tie you and get to my work." So when she humbly requested Krishna that she has to get to her work and she really wants to tie him for a while so that she can work in peace. So Krishna said, okay, now you tie me. And then that rope was exactly long enough for her to tie him up. So what can bind Krishna is only through our loving service and our humility. When we humbly request something to Krishna, he bestows that to us, right? He's bound by the devotee's humility and love, right? So that's how, when after seeing the universal form, Arjuna makes another humble request, that, oh Lord, this universal form is too bewildering, too scary for me to see. So please come back to your original two-handed form, the form that I've always seen you in, and the most loving, caring form of yours. Please come back to that form. Arjuna requests, and the Lord obliges, right? We will see this. So what is the description of this universal form? How does Sanjaya describe this universal form? So there are different descriptions. Krishna describes his own universal form. Okay. Sanjaya describes the universal form, and Arjuna also describes the universal form. Okay. And Krishna gives a few more instructions to Arjuna after revealing his universal form to him. Also, so with our normal senses, with our limited senses, it's impossible to behold the universal form of the Lord. Not anybody and everybody is eligible for this. Okay. When Arjuna requested that he wanted to see the universal form, so Lord gives him Jnana Chakshu. That means he empowers him with a vision to be able to see this form, right? So without the Lord himself willing to empower you with such kind of transcendental vision, you cannot, you or me or anybody that just wishes to see the form cannot see it. It's imperceptible until the Lord himself empowers us to see it. Okay. So here, how does Krishna describe his own universal form? O Arjuna, whatever you wish to see, behold at once in this body of mine. This universal form can show you whatever you now desire to see and whatever you may want to see in the future. Everything, moving and non-moving, is here completely in one place. This is described in the 7th verse. Krishna says that, behold my universal form. So this Krishna's description, what does Krishna have to say about his universal form? Number one, all manifested and unmanifested aspects of his form are encompassed within this universal form of his, right? Are within the universal form of the Lord. The Vishwarupa of the Lord consists of manifest and unmanifest. Okay, that's why it's so bewildering. Things that we cannot even imagine, the unmanifest forms, they are also included in this universal form of the Lord. Okay. And this form, like I mentioned, cannot be seen by anybody and everybody. Have to be empowered with transcendental vision, transcendental eyes to be able to see this form. And both Arjuna and Sanjaya were empowered to see the form. Okay. So Sanjaya, how did he describe this universal form? It's a beautiful description. I'll read the verse and I'd like any one of you to please read the translation. Okay. दिवि सूर्यसहस्रस्य भवेद्युगपदुत्थिता यदि भासदृशी सा स्याद् भासस्तस्य महात्मनः. Could somebody please read this translation? You can unmute yourself or you could raise your hand. You're unable to unmute. Yes. Anybody? Yes. Ashwat Kumarji, please go ahead. Okay. You'll have to unmute yourself, Ashwat Kumarji. Okay. We're not able to hear you. Oh, okay. No worries. Is there anybody who would like to read the translation, please? Ashwatji will not be able to unmute. Yes. Yes, Karthike. Go ahead.
If hundreds of thousands of suns were to rise at once into the sky, their radiance might resemble the effulgence of the Supreme Person in that universal form.
Thank you, Karthike. So if hundreds of thousands of suns, okay, with one sun, we can imagine the type of sunlight that we get. Today we are very lucky in Dundee. It's quite sunny. We had like a brief discussion about this. From the past few days, Dundee has been very sunny. So if the sun rises, you can imagine the kind of light effulgence it has, the light it creates. But if you can imagine, this is something that you can't imagine or describe, but that is how it was. That is how Sanjaya describes the universal form. If hundreds of thousands of suns were to rise at once, okay, into the sky, their radiance, the kind of light, the kind of brightness that would be in the sky, that might resemble the effulgence of the Supreme Person in that universal form. It was so bright, so effulgent. Maybe with normal vision, you can't even face the light. That is how it was. Right, okay. Kumarji, you could read the next verse. So, Arjuna's description of the universal form, all living entities, now that's how Sanjaya had described, thousands of suns rising together. There's further descriptions by Sanjaya. Okay, you can go back and read that. How Arjuna describes this form. All living entities at one place. All living entities, he could see all the living entities. Like we said, how many species of living entities are there? Could you put it in the chat box quickly? How many species have been described in our scriptures? Two responses. Yes. 84 lakhs or 8.4 million species of living entities. Thank you, Prashant and Ashwatji. So 8.4 million living entities in the whole of creation, if you can see it together at once. That is the kind of thing that Arjuna saw. All living entities at one place. And he realized that Krishna is unlimited, blazing like the sun, thousands and crores of sun rising together. Even an attempt to describe this is not possible. It's immeasurable, it's indescribable. It said in this chapter that the sun and moon are like the Lord's eyes. Okay, the 19th verse of this chapter, that is how it's described. Yes, Indumati, it's 8.4 million. So all of those living entities in one place, thousands and millions of suns rising together, that much bright it was. And limitless form, nobody can describe it in words. Nobody can imagine this ever, even in the wildest dreams. Okay, so Arjuna describes it like this, but it was also a very, very scary form. Why? Why was it a scary form? Let me read this verse and then Kumarji, you could read the translation. Aneka bahudara vaktra. Oh, sorry. Aneka bahudara vaktra netram pashyami tvam sarvato nantarupam nantam na madhyam na punastavadim pashyami vishveshwara vishwarupa. Yeah. Kumarji, would you like to read the translation, please?
O Lord of the universe, O universal form, I see you in your body, many, many arms, bellies, mouths, and eyes, expanded everywhere, without limit. I see in you no end, no middle, and no beginning.
Thank you so much. O Lord of the universe, O universal form, I see in your body, in this body, all living entities were encompassed. But not just that. Many, many arms, thousands of bellies, mouths, eyes, expanding everywhere limitlessly, without limit. Okay. It was like an illusion that Arjuna was seeing this universal form, thousands of mouths, thousands of bellies, thousands of heads, arms. All living entities incorporated in this body. I see that you do not have an end, you do not have a middle, you do not have a beginning. No beginning, no end. It's completely indescribable for Arjuna. That is how he describes it. So, how does this universal form or this Kala Rupa, how does this Vishwarupa, how does Arjuna describe this? Blazing fire, as if blazing fire is coming forth and spreading throughout, no beginning, no middle, no end. Okay, this form is worshipped, petitioned by demigods and sages. Okay, but when he sees this form, thousands of bellies, thousands of mouths, fire coming forth from the mouth and spreading all over the place, and there's no beginning, end, or the middle. So many bellies, so many mouths, so many eyes. What happens is, initially he's in the mood of complete surrender and devotion, but that changes quickly to fear. Okay, the rasa changes to fear for Arjuna because this form is so scary to behold. Okay, it's indescribable. Okay, he sees that all the people who are in the Kurukshetra battlefield, who are going to lose their lives in the Kurukshetra battlefield, be it Bhishma, grandfather Bhishma, be it Dronacharya, the guru, the teacher of the Pandavas and Kauravas, be it Karna, all these people are rushing into the Lord's mouth and fire is blazing from his mouth, and he does not have one mouth, he has thousands of mouths. When he beholds this, Arjuna is now bewildered, he's in great fear. Okay, so let's see what he says further. Amichatvam dhritarashtrasya putraah sarve sahaivavanitva palasangaihi bhishmo drona sutta putrastathasau sahasmadiyair api yodha mukhyai. So could somebody read the translation, please? I see Kartike's hand is raised. Kartike, do you want to read?
Yeah. All the sons of Dhritarashtra, along with the allied kings, and Bhishma, Drona, Karna, and our chief of soldiers, also are rushing onto your fearful mouths, and some I see trapped with heads smashed between your teeth.
Thank you. So what are you saying, Arjuna? All the sons of Dhritarashtra, along with the allied kings, everybody who was in the Kaurava army, Bhishma, Drona, and Karna, and all the chief soldiers, they're all rushing into your fearful mouths blazing with fire, and some I see trapped with their heads smashed between your teeth. What kind of a sight would this be to behold? But this is what Arjuna was seeing. What did this mean? That everybody was running into the Lord's mouth. What did this really mean? We'll see this. There's a very beautiful shloka in this verse in this chapter. So, after seeing this, Arjuna's understanding of Krishna is completely shattered. Okay, this is not what he knew Krishna as. So now he asks again Krishna, although Krishna is described that I am the source of all creation, and the Supreme Personality and everything else under my control. Although Krishna has already said this to him, after seeing this, everybody running into this blazing mouth, scary form of the Lord, Arjuna asks Krishna, who are you? Who are you, and what is this bewildering form that you have? Who are you, and what is your mission? Please tell me. He's completely confused now and scared after seeing this form. So then, now Krishna gives very mystical and beautiful answers to Arjuna. So Krishna says, Kaloham, I am time. Okay, Krishna says, I am time. You do not have to worry about anything. Only thing that you should recognize that you are my instrument, become my instrument. Okay. So Krishna also predicted the outcome of what Arjuna would do, or even whatever Arjuna chose to do, what will be the fate of everybody on the Kurukshetra battlefield. It was already decided by Krishna. So he predicted what would happen. And he, as a result of this, he suggested Arjuna to become an instrument. And this particular verse, 11.33, is a very, very important, beautiful verse. Okay, we'll read it. And before that, we'll see how Krishna describes himself to Arjuna when he says, who are you, Krishna? What's your mission? So he describes himself as Kalo Asmi. I am time. I am time. So this is an important shloka. You can go back and see the 32nd and 33rd shloka. I can share that on the group today. Lord describes himself as time. Time is not something that's in our perception. I mean, we can think of it as time that has passed, past, present, and future. But person, can we imagine time personified, Krishna says that I am that personification of time, right? Kalosmi. So he says that whatever is going to happen in the Kurukshetra battlefield, I told you that Arjuna could see children of Dhritarashtra, that is the Kauravas, and everybody in the Kaurava army running into the mouths. Everybody that was on the battlefield, essentially, not just the Kauravas, whoever was about to lose their lives, were seen running into this blazing mouths, scary mouths of the Lord. Okay, some of them are even trapped with their heads between the Lord's teeth. Okay. So what does this mean? They had already been destined to die by the Lord's hand. So I have already destroyed all your enemies. Become my instrument and win glory. So whether Arjuna fought this war or not, the outcome was pre-decided by the Lord. Okay. But to facilitate this outcome, you be my instrument. That's what Krishna says in this 33rd verse of the 11th chapter. I'll read the shloka or verse. Tasmat tvamuttishta yasho labhasva jitva shatrun bhungshva rajyam samruddham mayaivaite nihatah purvameva nimitta matram bhavasavya sachin. Therefore, Arjuna, get up and prepare to fight and win glory, because everybody that was supposed to be killed have already been killed by me. You just have to, conquer your enemies and be my instrument. So conquer your enemies and enjoy a flourishing kingdom. They are already put to death by my arrangement. And you, O Savyasachi, can be but an instrument in the fight, right? So Arjuna was assuming that he would be killing everybody and he would get the sinful reactions. No, but when he is following Krishna's will, when Krishna had destined this to happen, when Krishna had predetermined that this was supposed to happen, these people were supposed to be killed and the Pandavas were supposed to win this battle, then nobody, no force can stop that from happening. So Arjuna had to just surrender and follow the plan that Krishna had predetermined, right? Just be an instrument with Arjuna, right? So nimitta matram, this word means just an instrument, just a mere instrument, not working under the inspiration of Krishna's plan. That is what is called nimitta matram, being an instrument to fulfill Krishna's will. So after hearing this from Lord Krishna, when Lord Krishna says, just be my instrument, I have already predetermined this. The war has already been taken place and people have already been killed. You have to just facilitate it, be an instrument. After hearing this, Arjuna very humbly prays to the Lord. What prayers does he offer? These prayers are also very beautiful. If you can read. Yes, I think that shloka will come up here. Okay. There is one verse which I can read. Sakheti matva prasabham yaduktam he Krishna he Yadava he sakheti ajanata mahimanam tavedam maya pramadat pranayena vapi. So, what does this verse mean? After seeing this universal form, Arjuna realizes that he knew to some extent that Krishna had extraordinary powers, but he did not expect this kind of a limitless power. He said that thinking of you as my friend, till now I've been thinking of you as my friend, okay? I've been playing and fighting with you, hit you, I've addressed you as just, oh Krishna, oh Yadava, oh my friend. I've addressed you all these by your name and by all these words, not knowing your glories. Please forgive. So whatever I might have done in madness or love, please forgive me, Arjuna says. Okay. Till now I've been thinking that you're just my friend. I was not aware of your powers. I was not aware of your prowess. Okay. I was not knowing your glories. Please forgive whatever I may have done in the madness or love. I have dishonored you many times. Okay, I've dishonored you many times. When there are stories where Arjuna and Krishna, lay side by side, and Krishna lay with his head towards Arjuna's feet. Okay, and suddenly Arjuna now remembers all this. So I have dishonored you many times, jesting as we relaxed, lay on the same bed, or sat or ate together, sometimes alone and sometimes in front of many friends. O infallible one, O Achyuta, please excuse me for all those offenses that I have done towards you. Right? I've rashly addressed you as Krishna. Please forgive me. I was not aware of your glories before. So, there's also a verse before this where he says, Pavitram Paramam Bhavan. Sahasra, he says, I offer thousands and thousands of obeisances to you, O Lord Krishna. There are two verses before this. It's beautiful. There are two beautiful verses. Cannot recollect those verses immediately, but I'll share it to you on the group. Okay. Yes. Namo namaste stu sahasra Bhutva punascha bhuyopi namo namaste. Nama purastadat prishtataste. So this is one of the verses. Cannot recollect the whole verse, but it's beautiful. He says that I repeatedly bow down to you. I bow down to you again and again and offer my humble obeisances. I apologize for all the offenses that I've committed to you before, just thinking of you as a mere friend. I was wrong. I was unaware of your glories. Please accept my humble obeisances and forgive me, is what Arjuna requests to Krishna after seeing his universal form. Okay. And then armed form. Not just this. What is the armed form that was revealed? Human-like, two-handed, Manusha Rupa, most beautiful, very difficult to see. So this two-handed form of Krishna, I told you that Arjuna was very scared and bewildered when he saw the universal form. So he falls down, pays obeisances, and tells the Lord that I am very scared, bewildered by the form that I've just seen. Could you please go back to the two-handed form that I'm always used to see? Okay. This armed form or this two-handed form, in this form, Lord looks exactly like any other human being. Okay. Manusha Rupam. and it's most beautiful, most pleasant to the eyes. Okay, but although this is a very beautiful and human-like form, it's very difficult to see. Even this form, Lord does not reveal to anybody and everybody. It's only people that show unconditional love towards God, include the Lord in everyday life, dedicate their lives to Him. To such people, they become eligible to see that form, right? So what does Arjuna describe about this armed form? How does Arjuna describe this two-handed form of Krishna? Arjuna vacha दृष्ट्वेदं मानुषं रूपं तव सौम्यं जनार्दन इदानीमस्मि संवृत्ताः सचेताः प्रकृतिं गताः. When Arjuna thus saw Krishna in his original form, he said, "O Janardana, seeing this human-like form so very beautiful, I am now composed in mind and I am restored to my original nature." Arjuna was suddenly very scared and horrified. But after seeing this two-handed form, upon Arjuna's request, Lord comes back to his two-handed form from the universal, it was gigantic, magnificent, limitless. From that particular form, he came back to this two-handed form. So now he says that after seeing this two-handed form, the most pleasant, the most pleasure-giving, sweet form, which is human-like, so very beautiful, I am now composed in my mind and I'm restored to my original nature. Okay, I'm no more scared, basically. So now, in this particular verse, Krishna tells us how somebody can understand him. Okay, Bhaktya tvananyaya sakya aham evam vidhorjuna Nyatum drashtum cha tatvena praveshtum cha parantapa. My dear Arjuna, only by undivided devotional service can I be understood as I am standing before you and can thus be seen directly. Only in this way you can enter into the mysteries of my understanding. If we have to understand Lord Krishna, if we have to see this beautiful two-handed form of Lord Krishna, it's possible only by one means. There is only one way, and that is through undivided, no distractions. It's not like you're ringing the bell here and something pops up on your phone, you're also seeing the phone. No. Undivided, complete attention and focus is on Krishna. By such undivided devotional service, can I be understood as I am standing before you and can thus be seen directly. Only in this way can you enter into the mysteries of my understanding, right? Only through undivided devotional service. I will reveal this form. I can be seen directly, he says. So he will reveal his two-handed form to us if we offer this undivided devotional service unto him. Okay. And this is the only way to understand his mysterious being, right? So that was the universal form. I strongly recommend that I can send some important verses from this chapter. Strongly recommend that you go back and read some of those verses because we have condensed it into a very short, brief presentation, right? It's a beautiful chapter, especially Arjuna's prayers to Lord Krishna. You can repeat those prayers and offer them as you yourself are offering to Krishna, right? You can read those Arjuna's prayers. So what's the acronym for this chapter? It is Rupa, or form. So the first few verses were request. From 5th to 34th verse is the description of the universal form. Okay, and then Arjuna offers prayers to Lord Krishna. Thousands and thousands of obeisances he repeatedly offers and says that I was not able to understand your glory before, but now I bow down to you, right? And he requests him to come back to his two-handed armed form, right? Okay. So this is the summary slide for this chapter. Okay. Arjuna's illusion is destroyed that Krishna is an ordinary person or just a friend to him. No. Krishna is way beyond that. He's not just saying that he's the creator, he's demonstrating, showing his Vishwarupa, that he is the cause of all causes, right? So his illusion is over. He accepted the Lord as Lord Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, him completely satisfied, humbly requests him to go back to his two-handed form, right? And we see Sanjaya's, Arjuna's, Krishna's description of the universal form and the most important instruction that he gives to Arjuna in this chapter in 11.33, right? Nimitta matram bhava savyasachin, be my instrument, right? He offers obeisances, he glorifies the Lord Arjuna in his prayers. He apologizes for all the mistakes and offenses that he has made and requests the Lord to forgive him and go back to the two-handed armed form. So human-like, two-handed, most beautiful and very difficult to see, right? Very difficult to see. Right, so that brings us to the end of the 11th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, right? So I'm going to stop sharing. I have a very quick question for all of you. So I had requested that all of you to chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So I'd like to know how many of you have been able to chant it. Prashant, oh, amazing. Prashant has been chanting. What about the others? Kartike, okay. Kartike has been chanting. Excellent. Great. So why we are requesting you to chant again and again? Because for this yuga, okay, the type of sacrifice that's recommended for this yuga, Kumarji, excellent. I'm very happy. Hare Krishna. So Kumarji, Prashant, Kartike, a few of the other people who attend in person have also been chanting, and it's very refreshing to see this. Because every time we utter this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, it is said that not just we are benefited. We are supposed to chant it loudly. Okay, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. If we chant it loudly like this, we ourselves are also able to focus on the sound and the mantra itself. And everybody around us who hears it is also benefited, including insects, ants, bacteria, plants, including inanimate objects. Okay, the sound vibration stays. So it's not just for your own welfare, but you are also uplifting others around you. Okay, so if you have not already started chanting the Maha Mantra, please do start chanting it. Okay, Ashwat Kumarji. Okay, getting distracted, but getting there. Yeah, initially it's fine. It's fine to be distracted. It's very normal. Our mind, the nature of our mind is to run around every other way possible when we try to focus on something. That's fine. Okay, eventually if we make it a daily routine, like I said, the moment you get up in the morning with every other mantra, Ashwat Kumarji, great. I'm chanting daily, but not 108 times. If you're finding chanting 108 times difficult, okay, I would recommend you to start chanting with 18 times. Okay, 18 times and slowly, gradually increase it to 108. Okay, but 108 is just the beginning. Okay, 108 means you are able to control and keep your mind focused on the mantra for 5 minutes or so. Okay, but what our founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada has recommended is 2 hours of attention towards the mantra and towards Krishna every day, right? So that's not the goal. That is also part of the process. Okay, the 2 hours, but we, in our philosophy and according to our founder Acharya, that is recommended. But starting at 18 times, starting at 188 times, 5 minutes a day is a great start. Yeah. What about saying shlokas of Krishna? Absolutely. I can share a PDF with 100 important shlokas from the Bhagavad Gita, and you all can recite that as well. Maybe a couple of shlokas every day from that PDF, you can recite it. And I'll be very happy to share that with you all. Right. Yes, Kumarji, I can do that. Okay. So today, luckily, we've been on schedule for our live quiz. So let's get on with the quiz. I request everybody to come on to the chat box. Okay, come on to the chat box, please, and put in your answers for the live quiz. Diptanshu, I know that you will not be able to type on the chat box. So if you would like, it's only for Diptanshu that he could unmute and answer. Okay. For everybody else, it is the chat box, please. Okay. Right. So the first question from the live quiz is, what is the acronym for the 11th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita? Yeah. Okay. Perfect. You all have given me the right answers. All right. So we'll wait for another 5 seconds before we proceed to the next question.
It's Rupa, right?
Yes, it's Rupa. Perfect. Thank you, Diptanshu. Okay. I think almost everybody has answered. Okay, Lalita auntie is here. Right. Lalita auntie's answer would also be Rupa, I suppose. Right. So we'll proceed to the next question, assuming everyone has answered. Yes, right. So next question is, who were the 3 people who commented on Lord Krishna's universal form? Who were the 3 people who described or commented on the universal form of Lord Krishna?
Lord Krishna himself, Arjuna, and Sanjaya.
Okay, excellent, Diptanshu. Thank you. Yes, Krishna, Sanjaya, and Arjuna. Okay, excellent. Now, although we have fewer people, but all of you are very intelligent cohort of people. You know all the correct answers. I don't see wrong answers in the chat box anymore. Okay, great. I think almost all of you have answered this. Okay. So the last question is, in which verse does the Lord instruct Arjuna to be his instrument? The word nimitta matram. In which verse of the 11th chapter does this appear? Okay. Nearly.
33.
33. Okay, amazing. Thank you, Diptanshu. Yes. Almost all of you have gotten it right. Yes. Amazing. So for today's quiz, I'm sure you all already know the answers. I will put this up in the group as well, and I'll put up the winners for the quiz. Another thing that I want to request you all is, you've all been very consistently attending the classes, the cohort of people who are present right now in the class. You've all been very consistent, and it's amazing to see you all. I request you all, whether you can make it in person to our event or not, but please do the quizzes so that we can give away at least a digital certificate copy to you. Even though if you can't make it in person, we would love to give you this certificate. And please feel free to share this certificate with all your friends, okay, so that it incites a spark in them as well to, read our scriptures, to know more about the Bhagavad Gita. As citizens of India, I think it's our duty to know about our scriptures, right? Yes, Diptanshu.
I'm probably going to put it on my CV as well. I think because I've been working on something as well recently. So I think it only adds to you personally, professionally, but in every possible way. So I think I'll put it up everywhere I possibly can. So I think it can be right that we distribute the knowledge, because knowledge is something that should be distributed.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Diptanshu. So I request this with everybody that's present today. Okay. We are going to, like I had put up in the group, 3 of you have been very consistent in submitting quizzes. It's Prashant, Kumarji, and I believe Shivani. 1 second. Let me check my, okay, it's Diptanshu. Okay, it's Diptanshu, Prashant, and Kumarji. But with others, you've been doing the quizzes a little inconsistently. Okay. So I will put up a list of everybody, okay, all chapter wise quizzes, and who has already attempted these quizzes. I'll put this up on the group. Okay. Are you all comfortable if I put this on the group? Shivani, okay. You've completed all quizzes. Okay. Yeah. So please ensure that you all do the pending quizzes if you have not done them. It's very important that you do these quizzes, and we know that you've been doing the quizzes, right? So we'll be happy to give away certificates to everybody who completes the quizzes. All right. Right, Shivani. I'll just take a look. Okay, Shivani, for you. Don't worry about it. I'll take a look again. Probably just the 10th quiz you might have not attempted, probably. I would have seen the last one. So I'll go through it and I'll send a list of quizzes that I see the names, whoever has already attempted. Okay. So please, if you have not attempted or missed any quiz, do attempt it. Yes. Any questions? I'm very happy to take your questions now. Okay. 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 Right. Okay. Kartikeya says he's also tempted. Okay. Okay. Shivani and Kartikeya, I'll take a look at your responses and I'll let you know in case apparently if you have missed or I have missed seeing your names. I apologize. Let me just check and get back to you all. Right. I'll do that after the class today. Anybody has any questions about this 11th chapter which we discussed today, or anything in general, any question, anything from the chapters that we've dealt with before? You can feel free to unmute and ask if you'd like, or you can put it in the chat box. Okay. I don't see any questions in the chat box. Okay. Already you have all attained enlightenment. Huh? And there are no questions coming up. I think the universal form, the effulgent universal form that you read about today has completely taken away all questions and blinded with the bright light, blinded our vision. So always in all our scriptures, you're all overwhelmed. Okay, Prashant is overwhelmed. Kumarji is saying it's a very interesting chapter. Okay, okay. If you have no questions from the lessons, it will be wonderful to get your feedback on how do you feel this course is going. Okay, it will be good to hear from you. If you can unmute and tell me, I'll be very happy to hear from you. If not, you can put your feedback in the chat box so that I recognize where I can do things better. I also recognize what is already going on well. Okay, okay. Right, Indumatiji, I'll check your quiz responses and let you know whatever you missed. Okay. So can I please have your feedback on the course that we've been doing so long? I've been wanting to talk to you all personally, but it's not happened because of a very busy schedule that's happening, and I'm moving houses, and I know I'm studying as well, so it's a little packed. But I will get in touch with each of you eventually. But if you take this opportunity to give feedback, I'll be very happy. Right? If you can share it on the chat box, it'll be nice. Thank you, Ashwath ji. He's feeling blessed to be part of this course. Absolutely. Absolutely. It is rare that somebody would, you're scrolling through social media and you see a Bhagavad Gita course, and then somehow some inner voice tells you to, okay, enroll for it. So yeah, I agree with you. I personally felt like that when I had enrolled and started learning. Yeah. Okay, Kumarji says it has given me a very good understanding and insight as well as enlightenment. Okay, okay. That's very good to hear. Thank you, Kumarji. Enlightenment, as we would describe in our philosophy, is actually understanding Krishna in his whole, and that understanding will come, like Krishna mentioned in today's chapter, only when we develop unflinching faith and unconditional love towards him. So that's probably the end goal, but I'm very happy that you have gotten better understanding and insight through this course. Thank you, Kumarji, for that feedback. Kartikeya says he feels closer to God. Yes, yes, absolutely. One thing that we learn from the Bhagavad Gita is Lord repeatedly assures that he's constantly with us and guiding us. Okay, he's protecting us. If we have this unflinching faith, like Prahlada, the son of Hiranyakashipu proclaimed that I am God and nobody in my kingdom will ever take any other name other than mine as God. But his own son, Prahlad, little 5-year-old boy, kept on saying, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. That all glories to Lord Vishnu. He kept repeating Lord Vishnu's name, Narayana's name. And when Hiranyakashipu asked him, well, and it was not so simple for Prahlada. He was thrown from the top of a cliff. He was put into a ditch of poisonous snakes. He was put under the feet of a mad elephant to be stamped. In all this situation, if we imagine ourselves, we might be saying, I don't know what we might say. We might be just yelling, I would say, Amma. Oh, mother, save me from here. So everybody would remember mother, grandmother, and everyone. But we would not remember God. But Prahlad Maharaj, even in that situation, he remembered God, remembered the names of God. He called out to Vishnu, called out to his he called out to his protector Vishnu and said that you save me, and nothing happened. They put him into fire. This 5-year-old little boy was put into fire, but nothing happened to him. The fire could not burn him. The poisonous snakes could not bite him. The elephant bowed down in front of the mad elephant that they had sent to stamp Prahlada, bowed down in front of him and went away. They could do nothing to him. He was pushed off the cliff, but he came back unaffected. Okay, and in the end, when Hiranyakashipu mocked at Prahlada and said, okay, you're saying Vishnu, all that's fine, but will your Vishnu appear from this pillar? Then Prahlada said, yes, my Vishnu is in this pillar and he will appear. So that kind of faith that God is there and he's protecting us, whatever situation may be. It is not that people who worship Lord Krishna will not have to undergo distress or difficult situations in life. Some of the devotees have undergone the most difficult situations, most embarrassing situations. But even then, that is the ultimate test. Even then, when you are able to remember Krishna and humbly request him, when we humbly request him, he definitely comes. It's that love, that humility that binds him. So when we approach Krishna with that love and humility, he comes, whatsoever it may be, whatever situation it may be. The only thing that we have to do is call out to him with love and humility. Okay, and when we chant this Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, when we chant this mantra, we're calling out to him with love and humility. We're practicing this calling out. So when the situation comes in our life, when the exam comes, when death comes, we are able to call out to him, and it's definite. There's no doubt about that he would come and take us along if we are able to recollect, if we are able to remember him, come out of this forgetfulness, right? Okay, Prashant says, this is my second or third time that I'm going through the Bhagavad Gita. Initially, I didn't understand much, but now each time I'm learning something new. Okay, each time you're learning something new. Okay, that's very nice. Yes, the Bhagavad Gita is not an ordinary book. It is the words of Lord Krishna. And every time you read it, like you are saying, Prashant, you get something new is revealed in your heart. Okay, there's always something new that you can take from it. So it's a lifetime study. It's not just a one read. 2 days I finished the Bhagavad Gita. No, it takes a lifetime of study to understand. You can read it, but to understand the Bhagavad Gita, and every time you get a new perspective. So every time it's new, it appears fresh and new. It's a lifetime study, absolutely. Indumati ji says, I'm happy to be part of this course. I have no knowledge in the Bhagavad Gita actually. After hearing from you guys, it has encouraged me more to learn more. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Indumati ji. Yes, it's very nice. It's very nice to see your enthusiasm, especially in the live quizzes. And all of you have been very, very consistent and regular. And that itself is a sign of faith in the Lord. And it is unflinching, because nothing in the world has been able to stop you from hearing about Lord Krishna in these 1 hour, 1.5 hour sessions. And that itself shows your dedication and faith towards him. And I'm very happy and glad to see this. So all of you are those fortunate lot of people that Lord Krishna has chosen. So please, at least 5 minutes a day. He's given you this great fortune of hearing about the Bhagavad Gita. So as a gratitude, make it a daily practice to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. At least when you wake up, you can say Hare Krishna Mahamantra 3 times. Before eating food, say it 3 times. After eating food, say it 3 times. Every time you snack or drink tea or coffee, before 3 times, after 3 times. So if saying it 108 times at once is difficult, you could practice this. Okay. Before eating anything, make it a little practice to offer it to Krishna. Okay. Patram pushpam phalam toyam. Anything, even a little, just water, just dry fruits, anything that you're able to offer, apart from meat, alcohol, eggs, and prohibited food. If you're able to offer fruit, milk, or vegetarian food without onion and garlic, please do. The Lord, you can offer it to him and then accept it. Then eat it yourself. And making this a practice is like involving Krishna in our lives, like a family member. Okay, before you go to bed, say good night to Krishna and then go to bed. Say Hare Krishna 3 times. Hare Krishna Mahamantra 3 times, right? And eventually you'll realize that a lot of things in you have changed because of Krishna's presence in your life, right? And that makes a huge difference. I have experienced it, and I really wish and pray that you all are able to experience it too, and we continue to experience this together, right? Yes, Kumarji says Bhagavad Gita plays an important part in our daily lives and on the things that we do. Absolutely, absolutely. Our perspective for things will change. Our perspective will change. Our lethargy goes off. Because Arjuna has always been instructed by Krishna, get up and fight. Get up and fight. Do not be fearful. Do not be frightened. Do not be lazy. Get up and fight. So eventually, everything that has been tying us down will have to leave. We will develop a higher taste by Krishna's mercy. Everything that has been binding us automatically leaves when Krishna becomes present in your lives, right? So it is all about including Krishna, involving Krishna, and showing your love and humility for him, right? So that is my humble request. Please chant Hare Krishna whenever you're able to, and I request you all to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra with me 3 times, right? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Thank you all for joining today's session. I hope if you do have other questions, you can quickly pop it in the chat box before we take a leave. Is there anything else that anybody wants to add? Okay. I am looking at the chat box at the moment. Okay. All right. I see everybody's response here. Right. Okay. Shivani, I have not heard from you. What did you think? How's the course going? Is there any feedback that you have? As well as Deeptanshu, if you would like to unmute and tell us how's your experience been.
I mean, it's been enlightening, definitely. I think it provides a sense of peace within us. I mean, I have been taught the virtues of God from a very young age. And I've been very grateful. And in spite of that, I'm still getting to learn so much more. It's just like you keep learning it. It's a never-ending process, I guess.
Yeah.
But it definitely takes away a lot of the fear, a lot of the fright. And I think I've experienced that as well. I mean, it was quite a challenge for a lot of things that I've been able to do. And it's been God's mercy and exclusively His mercy that I have been able to do it. I mean, I have a very prominent example in my life, which can be termed as a miracle, and a miracle can only be performed by God, not by humans. And I have undergone miracle myself. So, I mean, I felt it at that point of time. I guess I'm learning about it as days go by, as I attend these classes. And I personally just feel a sense of peace every time I come here for 1 hour. And I don't know. I mean, it's very difficult to describe or articulate in words. Despite of me being a writer, it's very difficult to put into words sometimes. But it feels really nice. I feel a little warm in the center of my heart, if that makes sense. And yeah, and one other thing I would like to add is the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. I've been chanting it 108 times every day religiously,
Oh,
along with the other
wonderful.
mantras I did. And one thing I'll tell you, it might sound very vague, but I'll tell you this: it improves your breathing as well. For me, it has at least. And um, along with the other great things it does, I think that is also something which is very subtle, and I think most people will overlook it. But it's a huge benefit for anybody who knows how difficult it might get for you on occasions in terms of breathing. So it improves your breathing as well, because every time you take his name, you're breathing in a certain pattern, which, if you look back at it, I read somewhere as well, I was reading about the virtues of Lord Vishnu. I read it somewhere as well that, it clocks your heart and breathing in a certain way, which is very rhythmic, which is obviously good for the body as well. So that helps as well.
Definitely. Very nice
Thank
point.
you.
Thank you,
Thank you so much for
Diptanshu.
giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, Diptanshu. So what Diptanshu is saying is absolutely right. So the Maha Mantra, that's why it's recommended that you chant it loudly, so that both your oropharynx, your mouth and your nose, nostrils, everything is involved, and your breathing pattern also conforms to this mantra's rhythm, right? And it has both bodily and spiritual mental benefits. So yes. Okay, thank you, Shivani, for that feedback. She says, I'm happy to be part of this course and I like the way you are explaining things. I'm following the instruction that my guru has given me, and whatever I'm saying has come from him. And probably I'm able to deliver only part of what he says, but it is through his instruction and mercy that I am able to say things and share these material. The material, everything that I am providing is my guru's and belongs to ISKCON, and I am just serving them and following their instructions. So thank you for all your feedback. It has been amazing to have you all with me here, and your constant encouragement from the beginning. It's so heartwarming, and it helps me keep going with these sessions. And thank you so much. So we will continue our discussion. The 12th chapter, the next chapter is beautiful, beautiful chapter about devotional service. It's about devotion. So you all please be there, and we will continue our discussion. Thank you. Hare Krishna. And I will end with a small prayer. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय. श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Shivani. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Kumarji, Ashwatji, everybody here, Lalita Aunty, Indumati ji, Prashant, Shivani, Kartike, Kumarji. Yes, Hare Krishna.